everybody who stayed on. But anyways, I just wanted to add in to that the last two things that I felt were most important. So the number one thing that I hope that most coaches kind of took away was that there is no specific mold to be a successful coach. There are people with tattoos. There are people that look like Barbies. There are people that, are all shapes, sizes, different ethnicities. And they all are successful, in their own ways. And it's kind of funny, like if you look up the top 10, some of them couldn't be more different than each other. So I don't ever want any of you to think that, well, I don't look a certain way, or I don't, whatever it is. A successful coach has no mold. You create you, and you can be successful no matter where you are today in your journey. And the last one is the whole theme of Summit, and that is that everyone matters. And I just want to end with this little story that they told. And so they were on the beach, and the tide had come in and then washed back out, and it was hot out, the sun was up, and thousands and thousands and thousands of starfish had washed up on shore. And there was this little boy who was, walking down the beach, and as he was going, picking up a starfish and throwing it back in. Picking up the starfish, throwing it back in. Well, an older man came along and he said, "Boy, what are you doing? There's no way you can ever save all of these starfish. Why are you wasting your time?" And the little boy just looked at him, and he looked down. He grabbed another starfish, and he said, "It matters to this one." And he threw it back in. So I want you to think about that in your business, because everyone matters. You might not be able to win them all. You might not be able to get everybody on board. But everybody does matter. And if you can only reach that one person this week, and just that one person the next 2 weeks, they matter. So don't ever neglect reaching out to somebody. Don't ever, have a fear of what is this person going to think? What is it? That person matters, guys. And if you're truly thinking of helping them and your heart is in the right place, then you never have to have those worries. You never have to have those fears, because you're here to help them. And so I hope that drives you to talk to everybody and anybody, because their life does matter. So thank you guys so much again for getting on. I know this was like way longer than a call, and I decided to be weird. But
can I say one more thing, Amy?
Yeah.
So I forgot about it because I wrote down my notes and then I didn't have them. But I wanted to tie into what I was saying about what Shalene said. It's not what everyone's thinking, but with relationships, I've been having like issues with my husband, jumping on board and like kind of understanding the business. And when Shalene, when she talked about the whole thing with like relationships and how like sometimes they just don't understand because, maybe they're going through something themselves. And so I think that like after that whole training, like I tried to go back to the hotel and I was like, "Honey, like I love you," and he was like stressed because it was like hot and like he was hungry and he was just mad, because like everybody was hungry. And so like I think it's important that sometimes, like I don't know if anybody else goes through this with their husband, to try to remember, that maybe they aren't like changing with you, and that not to get mad or not to feel bad because of the way that they are feeling, but just to like go with it. Because I was like so jealous that Stephanie's husband came with her and was like so like maybe he's not coaching, but he was just like doing whatever like she was like, go here, go there. And he's like, okay. Like my husband is totally like, I'm not going there, blah, blah, blah. And so like, I hope one day, you know, he'll be like into it. But I don't know. I just think that that was really important. That was like one of my kind of like, oh, okay. Like maybe I am being too much. Like maybe I talk too much about Beachbody and like he's bored or something. And so like just trying to understand like in their shoes how they, you know, how they feel about the business. I just wanted to tie that in with what I was saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did, I believe, post that in our group. So anybody who wasn't there, watch that training. Also, I have posted previously in the file section other, I can't remember if it was one or two, but they're spouse calls basically, because that is a common theme that runs through most of the time when you start as a coach. And sometimes it takes a long time for them to come on board. But, you know, back to that piece of just kind of trying to understand and, you know, maybe having that conversation of, you know, being interested in each other's interests. And I think that is kind of the piece where, you know, it allows him to talk about things when you want to talk about things, but then you know when to give it up and to talk about things that they want to talk about too. So thank you so much for bringing that up, because that is a really important part of the business. Obviously, is our spouse or whoever is there, their support. And sometimes it doesn't show up when you want it, or maybe even when you need it. But to just move forward with that understanding and that confidence that what you are doing is right. You just might need to tweak things here and there. And sometimes, or a lot of times, it has to do with just scheduling your time so that, you know, when you are with Beachbody, you're doing Beachbody, and then you shut it down and you have your time with your significant other. So awesome stuff. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to add? No? All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I look forward to, hopefully you guys will jump on our 6 a.m. Thursday morning calls. This is our power hour time. We actually don't do a lot of talking. You can come like with your hair all messed up like mine usually is. You can come with unbrushed teeth. I promise we can't smell you through the computer. Whatever it is, you know, we don't care. Just show up. We're just here to support each other, talk through some things, to hold each other accountable, to reaching out to people. And that's basically what we do. So it's not complicated. It's just a time for us to devote to our business. And usually, hopefully, kids, husbands, they're all sleeping during that time. So we have our undivided attention on what we're doing. And we're pushing that business forward. So 6 a.m. Eastern on Thursday morning. If you have not signed up for a team for the cup, get on one. And once again, our calls will always be on Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern moving forward.
Hey, can I add something real quick?
Yeah.
I just want everyone to know to have a curious mind. Be curious, be organized, be ambitious.
Perfect. I couldn't agree more. Thank you for that, Kyle.
You're welcome.
All right, you guys have a wonderful night. And thank you so much for jumping on.